Although part of this video that you are about to see was originally made as a response to a Hey Ruka video that I made. Since I published that video, she sent me some messages saying that she does not subscribe to the philosophy of Ayn Rand nor the one of Rothbard Murray, asking me to modify that video. This is the modification of that video. I will not touch any more that Hey Ruka thing. And this video will only focus on this group of people that believe and follow the philosophy of Ayn Rand and, in a lesser manner, Rothbard Murray, and how this group of people is propagating this idea in the United States through YouTube and other media, and how the Tea Party people are following some right wing, a philosophy that is appealing to people who have certain kind of fascist feelings. So here is my take on this Ayn Rand thing. I hope you enjoy it. But in the United States, it's happening more and more often that these libertarian capitalists become ultra-conservative nationalists. They follow these heroes like they were some kind of deity. They admire them, they promote them. Rand, she represented an individualistic philosophy and a kind of capitalism that is not interested in collectivism at all. And Murray was an economist opposing the economic system as it is right now. He wanted a capitalism with no intervention from government, no regulation, no taxes, which he thought to be legalized stealing. He thought taxes were legalized stealing. This kind of philosophies, government shouldn't be big, shouldn't get his nose into capitalism and basically putting corporations and the economy as the real target for the creating of society rather than people. The people who follow this become ultra-conservative nationalists. It's a lot happening in Hitler's Germany. The stream is becoming fascist. But what I'm saying is that the philosophies that these people put forward are pretty similar to what the Tea Party people are proposing to be implemented in the United States. And that is very, very worrying. If these people get their way, they're going to start with the economy. What is going to come next is some kind of modern fascism. And please don't get me wrong. What I'm not saying is that we should be communist. That kind of system failed. Well, we should have the kind of capitalism we have. But that capitalism should know that corporations are not people. The corporations have to pay their share to make money in this society. Capitalism regulated, yes, regulated, and paying their share. That is what is just, and that is what is working in Europe, and that I think is what could work here in America. Not that libertarian, corporation-loving, capitalist kind of system that is impersonal, individualistic, egotistic, and can only do one thing: destroy the society as we know it now. And there is a whole bunch of people who believe in this individualism philosophy against collectivism and non-altruistic intervention of government and reduction of government and all of that. One of an idea being put forward by Fox. But let us analyze a little bit the leader of this team, this Ayn Rand, for a moment. This lady, as you know, came from Russia and quite frankly had a really bad early life. She came to the United States and tried to put her way of thinking into some kind of philosophy, which she made public with her book Atlas Shrugged. Basically, she promoted mostly individualism, which was in contrast to collectivism. Remember that she came from Russia, and Russia was a communist state which promoted heavily collectivism. Communism type of collectivism have at its core the interest of the many are far more important than the interest of the few. She was affected by it, and in those years the only way that you could oppose communism was with capitalism. That's why she promoted a very radical type of capitalism, a capitalism against collectivism. In her book mentioned it was a type of a dystopia. A dystopia is an anti-utopia. It's the idea of a society in a repressive and controlled state, often under the guise of being utopian. Dystopian literature presents the world as it should not be. Collectivism is presented as the worst possible society. But you see, this is a lie. You have seen that this type of ideas have been proven wrong. It has been proven the type of collectivism that communism proposed as being wrong, but the type of collectivism that capitalism promoted, which is a far less conservative kind of thinking than the one that she had, has worked. It is working in whole Europe. It is working almost in the whole world with big successes and some big failures. But Ayn Rand is not a person to be followed. Her thinking is completely crazy. Anne Heller, who wrote a new biography about Ayn Rand, which she called The World She Made, after reading that book, you find it hard to think that Objectivism is very objective at all. It looks more like a rational program retrofitted to a lifelong temperament, a fantasy world created to cancel the nightmare of a terrifying childhood. This is the comedy, the tragedy, and the power of Rand. She built a glorious imaginary empire on that nuclear grade temperament, then devoted every ounce of her will and intelligence to proving it was all pure reason. That is what Anne Heller says in this biography. Ayn Rand, her life, her achievement, I will say, was creating a philosophy to try to cancel that nightmare that she had of terrifying childhood in a communist Russia. And it is not the kind of idea you want to follow in today's society. My point is that this is not the part that we should go and discuss in detail. The thing that we should discuss is these ideas that are being brought from the darkness of history to try to make it a valid philosophy and a valid system to be implemented in society today. That philosophy of individualism, anti-collectivism, and people living without government, a kind of anarchic capitalism that is not good for the majority of people in this world. We should discuss it and stop it if we can.